What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I know this is extremely late, but I am going to do my top 10 games of 2014. Currently it is March 17th, and I haven't looked at my list in a while. I made it a while ago, and I was going to write some stuff to say about it, but then I didn't want to write stuff because I want it to sound genuine, and I want to talk about it. And this is going to be a long video, which I'll say right off from the bat. Right from the bat. I'm definitely saying that wrong. I don't know how to say that. Right off from the bat. Right from the bat. Something like that. I'm important, I know it. But I'm going to be getting these games out. I'm going to talk about them. Sum them up. I'm not going to give them a rank in terms of, like, on a scale of 0 to 10. But I'll put them in the order of my 10 to 1. The numbers are a bit hazy, and I could workshop those a bit. I moved some around a little bit, and not exactly sure where I'd put some, but you have to put it somewhere, because you can't just throw it at 7 when really it's 1. And I hate the ones that say no particular order, because there's definitely some order, even if it's hazy like mine. Sorry for making that 2 minutes long. This is like this is my first video of my face. The rest of it in my Luigi's Mansion Let's Play, which I haven't uploaded a new video for that in a while, but I just need to get some content out there, and I thought I'd finally get around to this, and I thought taking a genuine approach would really work for it. So let's start off at number 10, Destiny. This game is probably my most anticipated game of the year. It looked amazing. The trailers and the teasers and all the stuff they talked about, and how you're gonna go be flying with your friends, and this huge thing's gonna pop up in the middle of the area, and you're gonna team up with random people online and kill it and get this awesome loot. And you're gonna go on these missions and these strikes and raids, and it's gonna be mostly like, you're gonna be so enthralled in the environment that you're not even gonna, like, it's gonna be so awesome, and the story's gonna be compelling. And all that went to shit because they basically made it a multiplayer game. You can tell while playing it that it's focused around the multiplayer, and that you can tell they put a lot of time into the single player / co-op. I don't really know what to call it. I guess single player / co-op is probably the best. But you can tell they definitely wanted this to be a huge multiplayer shooter over the other stuff. But in the videos leading up to the game's release, it didn't seem that way at all. I figured this was going to be my Skyrim in space, and I was going to be just completely, like, spending hundreds of hours in this universe that I just couldn't get enough of, and I was thrilled, and it just did not deliver. The loot was done horribly. It's randomly generated loot. So you'll kill a boss, and like 99 times out of 100, I think you get, unless if it's 100 times out of 100, you get no loot from bosses. And then you'll get, like, legendary loot from just regular old enemies you see everywhere. It's kind of annoying, and it doesn't make me feel like I should be playing to progress as much as just grinding as many enemies as I can, because I have better chances of getting loot that way than by actually doing strikes and raids. I put a lot of time into it, like 20. I think I put in 30 hours before I got my first legendary piece of armor. And that's like a lot of multiplayer, probably like 20 hours of main stuff, which is walking around in patrol mode looking for the golden chests, which don't give you like anything. Being in the hub, doing strikes mostly, and the regular single player, which I played with 2 other friends, which was extremely easy. That didn't take too long, so I don't know. It took a long time, and I should have had legendary way before that, and I just never got it up until 30 hours in, and that really bugged me because it's a loot-based game, and all I was playing for the entire time was loot. And you level up based on your loot once you're past like 20, I think. Once your light determines your level, then it just got frustrating, and I stopped playing a lot. I bought the $100 version, which was really cool. It came with an art book with handwritten notes in. It has a steel book. I get all the DLC. So I went back and played the first DLC, and I'll play the other DLC when that drops. So I'll play that, see what I think of it. But yeah, Destiny's my number 10. Very huge disappointment. It is a great game, though. If I went into it with no expectations, I would have had a much better time. And I would have liked it a lot, but it's still not going to be high on the list of my top 10. It's still probably going to be like from 10 to 7. It's a great game, but it just didn't deliver in so many areas because it tried to accomplish so much in one game that instead it just tried to focus on what I think its main goal was from the start, which was a great story, a great environment, lots of lore. There is a lot of lore, but you have to buy them. You get the lore using Grimoire, which you then have to go on Bungie.net and then use the Grimoire to unlock these cards online, completely out of the game. And they could have implemented that into the game so easily with like a menu or something at the port. I can't remember what it's called. The regular area where you meet everyone. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember for the life of me. It's annoying. Oh well. On to Destiny. That's enough. Number 9, Titanfall. There's not too much to say about this game because it's multiplayer only, which this is exactly what Destiny didn't do. Titanfall knew what it wanted to accomplish. They wanted to get a very fluid, fast-paced, balanced, multiplayer shooter, and they didn't want to spend time on anything else. And so there was no campaign, nothing else, and it was a very great shooter. I still play it now. I was playing it last week. Amazing game. You can get it so cheap now. I bought mine with the season pass for $80, I guess, 85. The game was 60, and the season pass was like 15 or 20, I guess. Or no, it would be 20 or 25, I guess. Something like that. Anyway, you can now buy the game, I think, season pass and all, for like $15 or less. I've seen it for like $6.50 on sales on the eShop. Not eShop, I'm thinking Nintendo. On the Microsoft Store. On special sales for members with gold. You can get that game so cheap. Definitely worth picking up. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. I mean, it's very fluid. The Titans and the pilots, you have this huge, monstrous, robotic guy with these huge-ass rockets and missiles and bullets and chain guns and lasers, and they can dash, and they're ginormous, and you can stomp on people and punch them, and in these huge Titan fights. And then you got these little pilots with their regular guns and their anti-Titan weapons, and when I'm using both, it's clearly you can kill pilots easier with a Titan. But the maps are made so well that pilots can hide from these Titans, and the cloaks you almost can't even see it when you're in a Titan. It's much easier to see you as a pilot. I'm not going to get too into it. But they balanced the Titans and the pilots so well. Like, I didn't feel like I was more powerful as a Titan. Like, I felt like pilots could still do so much damage to me that I was scared of pilots in certain circumstances. And if a pilot was locked onto me, it was nerve-wracking, because you know that they can seriously damage you and possibly kill you. Number 8. This will be a surprise to most people, but I'll explain why. I have Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. This game, I don't know how good it is compared to other Pokemon games, because it's my first Pokemon game ever. And it was a lot of fun. I like JRPGs. I like them generally. I'd say I like more JRPGs than Western RPGs, but I like the really good Western RPGs better than JRPGs. I don't know if that made sense the way I put that, but that's basically how it is. Like Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Skyrim I barely count as an RPG, but it is. Like, I like those over, like, Pokemon, but I generally like turn-based games more than most Western RPGs. I didn't even finish Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, because I'm trying to catch every Pokemon. I gotta catch them all, you know. I played a lot, though, and I really like Team Magma. Team Aqua, it's cool, because you can see how they definitely think they're helping. Like, they're not just assholes. Like, they think they're helping the Earth, but then it turns out they're, like, trying to help in a way that's damaging, actually. And I don't want to reveal too much about the story. I mean, it's a remade game. I don't know if it's my first one, so I don't know if it's the same exact story or not. But it was a good story. I'd like a better story for future Pokemon games. I know Pokemon isn't huge from story, but I'd like them to start implementing story more. I'd like the battle system to be a bit more intricate as well, and but I really liked some things like well, I kind of lied earlier. I have played Pokemon XD before, but I don't count that as a real Pokemon game because it's kind of not. You can only capture Shadow Pokemon. You can only capture those when you're battling the Shadow Pokemon with the trainer. Like, you don't find Pokemon in grass one time throughout that whole game. You put some bait down and can capture very limited types of Pokemon later in the game, but that you don't really use those. You're basically just capturing the Shadow Pokemon. But I like things they implemented, like you can kind of see what Pokemon is hiding in the grass if you move slowly, or in the water. You can see like the outline of it and what special moves it has, what level it is, if you've caught it already. If you haven't caught it yet, it just shows the outline of it. And at the bottom, it shows you your rank, like based on how many Pokemon you've got caught in this area, compared to the amount that's actually in the area. So you know if you have more Pokemon to catch in the direct vicinity. So that's helpful, especially for someone new like me that doesn't really know any of the Pokemon. Like, I didn't nickname any of them because I'd like to learn their names. And I thought it was very friendly, the new players like me that don't really know anything about Pokemon, never watched a TV show or anything. So yeah. Really like Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Omega Ruby, it's probably about the same thing, except you're going against Team Magma, and you're going to be on Team Aqua's side. Because both are trying to help, but they're both also damaging in ways they don't realize. But I like the characters. I wish there was more 3D models. I really like using the 3D on my 3DS, unlike other people. I actually just picked up the new 3DS when it came out February 13th. The new 3DS XL, so I can put my amiibos in there. All that good stuff. I've been playing Majora's Mask on there. It's awesome. Anyway, back to the top 10. 7. I have Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, which I contemplated putting this up because Diablo 3 is an old game. I never got to play it. Then I Diablo 3 came out on the 360, and I bought it and hated it. Then Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition came out, and I got it, and my friends and my cousin got it, and we played it for hours together. Like, every night, hours. Right now I'm level 70 with one guy, got a bunch of Paragon points. I'm starting up another guy, a Witch Doctor. I have a Witch Doctor and a Monk. And we just play it. It's complete gameplay based. You're not really going to care a lot about the story, although it does have a decent story. And the cutscenes are probably some of my favorite cutscenes ever in gaming, period. They're just beautiful, choreographed awesomely, animated well, they look great, sounds great. And there's not many of them, so when you get them, you feel good, and they're not overdone. You get like one per act, and with the extra act, because of the DLC, the Ultimate Evil Edition, I think there's 5 acts. Yeah, so there's like 5 cutscenes plus the beginning cutscene, which is like 6. So there's probably like 7 or 8 throughout the whole game. So don't overdo it. And the combat's fun. There's tons of classes. The classes vary so widely, which is another thing I forgot to talk about in Destiny. And classes don't really matter in Destiny at all, other than your like 1 RB power, which for a Warlock, you shoot this huge beam out. You can customize how it shoots out, like in different things, or if it's one huge ball, or if it has a lasting effect afterwards, like this poison cloud. Titan has this thing where he hits the ground, I think, something like that. And then he also has this one where he punches you and it's a one-hit kill. And then Hunter has like a golden gun and shoots you and kills you in one bullet if you're playing multiplayer. If you're in the main game, it just does a ton of damage to an enemy. But other than that, the classes are exactly the same in Destiny, and there's no there's no class specific armor until really late in the game, when it's annoying, because you realize you're going to have to play another class for like 10 hours at least to be able to use that armor you just unlocked for another class. It's annoying. Anyway, Diablo 3. Sorry for that sidetrack. Like I said, this is pretty genuine. I didn't write anything out. Sorry about that. Diablo 3, they have a bunch of different classes, and in the Ultimate Evil Edition, they added another one, Crusader, I think it's called. It's basically like a Paladin class. But with that one, I think there's a Paladin, there's Hunter, Monk, Witch Doctor, Wizard, Barbarian, Hunter, Demon Hunter. My bad. I almost said Hunter Demon. I think 7 sounds right. It's probably 7. I'd say, yeah. Am I missing one? No, I don't think I am. It's either 7 or 8. I'd go with 7. That's still a ton, though. It's a lengthy game, and it has a ton of end game content. You can just go back and do bounty hunts. You can replay any of the boss fights. You can go back and do so much stuff, and level up your guy and get Paragon points. Paragon points level up your main things, like poison resist. And then those Paragon points carry on to other classes, and it just gives you the points, so you can assign them to other classes any way you want. It doesn't have to be one unified thing throughout all your classes, which is really nice, because otherwise you might not want damage resist with a barbarian since you already have so much health, but with a demon hunter you don't have as much health. Maybe you want some damage resist, stuff like that. Really awesome game, tons of fun. Highly recommend it. You can get it probably pretty cheap, and it comes with that DLC too, which is nice. Sunset Overdrive comes in at number 6, which kind of sad it didn't make it top 5, but it's a great game nonetheless. Definitely an amazing Xbox One exclusive for the year, along with Titanfall. It's another Xbox One exclusive. Well, also on 360, but it's and PC, but it's a Microsoft exclusive. I'll say that. Sunset Overdrive is an Xbox One exclusive, though, and it's just a fun, like, do whatever you want type game where you're like grinding on rails, and then you jump on a car and fling through the air, and you're shooting things, and these monsters are coming all over you, not literally, and they're just surrounding you, and you're grinding on things and hopping on things and running off walls and running on water and flying through the air, and it's crazy. And it's, don't let anyone tell you it's like Infamous. It's very different from Infamous. People that only have PlayStation consoles, mostly, not segregate, are the ones that typically say this is exactly like Infamous, and they've never even played it. And it's made by Insomniac, who made Spyro and Ratchet and Clank, and so they take all the stuff they've learned from there and all the awesome guns from Ratchet and Clank and move it into this new game that's got a very punk feel, and it really breaks down the fourth wall in terms of comedy and character interaction with you. Character development isn't crazy, but that's not really the main focus of the game. You're mostly just playing it for the gameplay and leveling up your weapons and getting a team together, getting rid of Fizco, getting out of the city, Sunset City, because everything's overrun with these monsters, the OD that became infected after they drank this energy drink. It's a very crazy, funny game. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. You can customize your character basically, there's literally probably 10,000 combinations of clothing, if not more, that you can make. I actually we'll look that up while I'm talking. Sunset Overdrive, it's just nuts. How many clothing combinations are there in Sunset Overdrive? There's not so much to do in the game. I don't want to say that. There's lots of side quests, and there's is there continuous quests? I think there might be like one or two, but continuous quests suck anyway, so I don't really care. And then there's tons of main quests. You can replay any of the main quests. There's online. The online's not that great, though. That's the one thing I don't really like about the game too much. I can't find it. I'll just take my word for it that there's tons of clothing combinations. This is a very punky, high energy, fling all over the place, shoot everything type game. It's a lot of fun to play, and I highly recommend it, because obviously I do, since it's in my top 10, and it's at number 6. Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Wii U. Now this is I feel like I should clump Wii U and 3DS version together, kind of, because they're like basically the same game, aside from a few things. Classic mode's done differently. They have a different side game, like they've got Smash Run in 3DS, and then they've got the Smash board game thing in Wii U, and then they've got 8-player Smash on Wii U, and they've got more maps on the Wii U. Well, I don't know about more, but they've got different maps. Or some 3DS has exclusively, and some Wii U has exclusively. I'd say Wii U generally has the better maps, and it's more fun to play with the gamepad, which you can play specifically just on the gamepad, which is cool. You can also play on the big screen, and you can have up to 8 people playing, which is awesome. I had 6 of my friends come over, and we were all just playing Smash for hours, just having a great time. There's tons of cool items. The online is actually good. It's good on the 3DS version too, but the Wii U version is just done superior. And there's so many statistics and records you can look at, so many trophies to look at. There's Trophy Rush, and there's Trophy Gallery, the Trophy Horde, there's a Sandbag, Target Smash, there's Training, there's a Cruel Man Smash, 3-minute, 10-man, 100-man, Endless, Rival Smash. There's so many different things. The challenges are difficult. So much content. You could spend so much time on this. The thing I get hung up with the Wii U over the 3DS, though, I've spent more time on the 3DS version. That's because of its convenience. I can load up it on the 3DS. I think I have like 80-something hours on the 3DS version. I have most of the stuff there. I can now put my amiibos in since I have the new 3DS, which is nice. And that carries over from the Wii U version. It's all synchronized. You could do something on 3DS, put it on your Wii U, it's synchronized, so that's nice. It's because I can just turn it on, play a bit, and like 3 matches, turn it off. And also, the biggest thing is I have study hall every other day at school. So I'll take it at study hall, and my friend, I've got like 3 people in study hall that can play. Sometimes we'll do one-on-ones with each other. Sometimes we'll play 4v, like a match of 4 versus team battles. We just do 3 versus. Someone forgets theirs. You can play at school. You can play wherever. It's so convenient. So I have more time on the 3DS version than the Wii U. Although I believe Wii U version is superior, and it's got that beautiful HD. It's just done so nicely, and it's just a great game. So polished, it barely needs updates. All the characters are awesome. I main random. I play as all the characters. They're all fun, great, well designed, fun. They've got so many smash moves. They really range widely from more ranged people like Mega Man. Then they've got like Ganondorf, who's a real close-up and personal heavy fighter. I like how they add in more non-Nintendo characters as well. Like I said, Mega Man. They've got Pac-Man. And they still have Sonic. And I think I'm missing one. I might not be. There's either 3 or 4. I believe 3. I can't get the amount of characters and classes right today. And there's 49 characters overall in the game, so there's like so much to do, so much fun. Play it for tons of hours. It's the best party game of the year, no doubt about it. One of the best fighting game of the year, I agree. It's something that's really cool because it looks very one-dimensional and looks very simple. And it has a very low level cap, low learning cap. Someone can pick it up and play and learn it instantly because there's no intense combos or anything. It's side, up, and down, and then whatever button, and then there's grabs and shielding and rolling, and that's it. It's not like some fighting game that's like, oh, you need to do down, diagonal, right, X, AA, left, X. But then suddenly it takes that really easy, simplistic thing and makes it so hard to master. And suddenly this one-dimensional game, suddenly you can see all of its layers, and it's suddenly the most dynamic one available. It's crazy, and getting in there with like 8 people, it gets hectic, and it gets crazy, and you throw in the items, or you could have no items. It's really amazing, and it's a great game. Highly recommend it. I should stop saying that because obviously I highly recommend all of these games. Number 4, Child of Light, a JRPG-ish style game. It's not turn-based really, but it is. I guess it's hard to explain. Not many games have this mechanic. There are some. I can think of one on the PS1, but I can't remember the title of it. But you play in this beautifully done, amazingly incredible world with this beautiful art design. It literally looks so hand-drawn. Looks like you're reading like a picture book that's like watercolored. And it almost looks a bit 3D just from the way it's done. And it takes this small child, and it's like a coming-of-age story, who gets lost from her parents and her sister, and she needs to make it through, and she's this little scared girl at the beginning. And then towards the end, she grows and gathers this team and develops and really grows stronger and gets abilities and gets stronger. You can physically see her get stronger. At the beginning of the game, she's wielding this axe. It's one of my favorite animations. Not axe, it's this huge sword. And she's so little, she can't even wield it right. She's like struggling to move it once. And then as she gets older, then she becomes able to wield the sword better. I almost was sad when she couldn't wield the sword poorly anymore, because it just, I felt she was growing, and you can see it before your eyes. It's not like happening throughout the whole story. There's a definite point where she definitely grows, but her character and her mindset grows throughout the whole thing. Her physical stature grows at one specific point. That would be cool if her physical stature just grew throughout the course of the game, though. That'd be cool. But it's so polished, and the developers went into such detail with this game. And you have one other person, and you can fight in this turn-based, timeline-structured combat system, where here's the timeline, and sorry, I'm trying to make it in there. And you are a mark on the timeline here, and you're moving at a certain speed, and you can upgrade your speed depending on what your speed is and stuff, and your partner has one, and then the enemies have one too. And then towards the end, you have this action sequence where when you get to here, then you pick your action, like defend, attack, and whatever. And then for this period of time, it takes that long to execute it. Now, if you get attacked in this execution period, you don't get to execute your attack, first of all, but then you get set back almost at the beginning of the timeline. But if you choose to defend yourself, you instantly get sent back to the front. You're defending yourself, and you move up the timeline way faster, like 3-4 times faster than you normally do. Which is good because it protects against becoming blocked, and then you get in a bad position of the enemy having the upper hand on you and being able to take control over you. It doesn't happen often, but it can. And it's dynamic in that sense, and you really want to think about it. And you have this little ball you can move on certain enemies to stun them, to slow their time on the thing, which I mostly used in that action execution sequence. And you can also put it on yourself to heal you, and it's also used throughout the actual levels to access different points and solve different puzzles, small puzzles, not really anything mind-blowing, but little things. And the attention to detail is really what makes it something special. That and the combat system and the world they just make is great, and it's very it's 100% linear, basically. There's some side quests, and you can go back to anything, but it's not open world or anything. I mean, I guess you could say it is a little bit, but not really. But it doesn't need to be, and it shouldn't be, because that's not what they were going for, and they executed it really well. Alright, top 3. This is where they really start packing in. Number 3, I have Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Before this, I never saw the Lord of the Rings movies up until about 2 months before Middle-earth came out. I watched Fellowship of the Ring on Friday, and I watched The Twin Towers Saturday, and then Sunday I watched The Return of the King. I watched them all straight through. The Return of the King was the extended edition, so it was like 4.5 hours. The rest were just 3. They were fantastic. I mean, I want to watch The Fellowship of the Ring again. My order of preference in the movies is Fellowship of the Ring, and then I like Return of the King, and then The Two Towers. In that order. But Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor is set in the Lord of the Rings world. And what I've gathered from playing the game, I'm not really giving anything away, is that it takes place before Fellowship of the Ring, but after the creation of it. And you play as this man who has his family murdered the very beginning of the game, and you are cursed from not being able to die. You're not able to die. So you get this not extraterrestrial, supernatural abilities that are nuts and really cool. You bond with this other guy, and you basically come together as one. And you get to use your human abilities, which is mostly your sword, and your dagger, and your stealth, and your climbing. And then you get super special powers, which is mostly your bow and arrow. You get to do some cool stuff, like if you aim your bow at someone and then hit Y, you can flash up to them in the blink of an eye and take them out to stealth attack. You need to get upgrades for those. It's a Western RPG. One of the ones I was talking about earlier. This is clearly one I love. And the combat's done Arkham style, like Batman Arkham style, which is some of the most fluid, amazing combat ever. Many games have tried to replicate it and not succeeded. But this one does it extremely well, and it seems almost flawless. Really, the combat system's crazy good. It's crazy good. But I haven't even talked about the coolest part of the game, which is the Nemesis system. Yeah, the Nemesis system. Where you really start to... You go up against these chiefs and these war chiefs and these officers. I think they're called officers and war chiefs. And whenever you die, they're all ranked in this system. There's like lowest level of chiefs, and then there's the next level, and then the next level, and then there's like war chiefs. And you'll be staking after one, and each one has like their own personalized, randomly generated set of statistics. And each one has this different thing they'll say to you, or a different thing they'll hate about you. And these things adapt to what you do to them. Like, if you send some Caragors on one, when you encounter him, he'll say, oh, you tried to get the jump on me by sending the beasties on me, or something like that. And then let's say you don't kill him. You fight him, you lose. You get to see this cool progression system where it goes to the Nemesis web of authority, and you see the guy that killed you, and you see him go up a power level, and he gets promoted, and suddenly he's a high-level chief, and suddenly now he has bodyguards protecting him. And so you're like, alright, well, I'm going to go back and kill him now. Well, now he's harder to kill. Now some of his weaknesses might go away. Some of his strengths might improve to make him impervious to certain things. So when you attack him now he's got these bodyguards. Let's say you go in, you attack him, he calls for his bodyguards, and they come and attack you and kill you. not only does he level up, but the people he's associated with will also gain power levels since he's in like an alliance with these certain people. Well, then you might say, I want to take a more strategic approach to killing this guy. And you start to get annoyed with these guys to the point where you want to do nothing but kill them and they're pissing you off. And you actually start to get mad at certain ones. There's definitely a few that I mean, it's all based personalized, and you really can feel that come through. So you might take a stealthier approach and say, well, maybe I'll kill his bodyguards first, and then I'll move on to him, so that by the time I move on to him, he'll be easier to take on. I can kill him easier. And then later in the game, you get this cool power, which you could also use to your advantage. You could say, I want to almost kill his bodyguards, and then I want to mind control them with my supernatural powers. And then so when I hit Y, when I'm attacking the real guy, they'll all be on my side and start helping me kill the war chief. And then they're all attacking him. You got the upper hand now. You have more people. You're outnumbering him. It's easier for you. You got this really cool thing, and then let's say he's a war chief. You can then mind control him and turn him against another war chief and make a riot. And then you can go to the riot and help your guy win, take over all the war chiefs. You could do whatever you want. It's crazy how intricate and how crazy it becomes. It's amazing. I played the game just looking at the Nemesis system for a long time and had a blast with it. There's also lots of side quest stuff you can do. Not really side quests as much as challenges you can accomplish. They're not really the best, but there's something to do in the end game. And there's survival challenges where you try and collect these herbs, and hunter challenges, killing different rodents and stuff. And then there's just so much. And then there's like lots of lore in game and relics, and there's just tons of collectibles. It's nuts. I'll try to get through these next two rather quickly, since I mean, I could talk about this for a long time. I've been trying to kind of speed it up, but clearly I'm still at 43 minutes. So, down in number 2, Mario Kart 8. Thankfully, there's not much to say about this one either. It's just like the other Mario Karts. Well made. It's Nintendo, so you know it's polished. You know it's done well. You know it's going to be fun, addictive, great landline. This time it has great multiplayer online. Flawless game design, really. Maps are incredible. None really stick out to me that I dislike, other than the dry deserts, which I've never liked. Even in the 2D ones, I've never liked the desert scenario in any game, really. But now they have this new anti-gravity mechanic where before you just drive along, sorry, my computer blacked out, this road, but now they have this anti-gravity thing where you can hit it and suddenly you can go up walls and on certain things and interweaving paths and tons of crazy new items you can get to attack your foes, I guess, your opponents. Tons of great stuff, lots of game, but it has tons of gameplay value. That's all it is, really. There's no story. It's a kart racer with all your favorite guys: Mario, Luigi, Peach. It's got all the Koopalings, so it's got Larry, Koopa Kid, all them. It's got Metal Mario, Metal Peach. It's got Bowser, Donkey Kong, Yoshi. It's got so many people. And then the DLC is crazy too. You've got, first off, the DLC is cheap, especially for how many maps it is. But then they also give you more karts, because you can customize your karts in this game. And say, well, I want a real powerful kart. I'm going to pick the most powerful kart, the heaviest parasail, but I kind of want to be able to drift, so I'm going to pick these certain tires that have a better drifting. The DLC gives you more options available in that department, as well as 2 entire new circuits to go through per DLC, and new characters. There's Legend of Zelda 1, it comes with Link, and I believe 3 other characters. It's got those 8 tracks. I think like 8 Kart customizations. And then there's a Animal Crossing one that also comes with 8 tracks. It comes with so much stuff. And it's very cheap. Great DLC. Highly recommend it. And all the maps are done so well. The multiplayer is actually fleshed out completely. You can get all the gold stars. It's easier to get ghosts now, to race against, to get better times on courses. The only thing that's not good in this game is the battle system. The battle games, I guess. The ones where you get the balloons and you can hit each other. I think that's the only... There might be one other battle game, but they really suck. I spent like almost no time in there. I think I played 2 games online and stopped. It was not good. But I've never been a battle guy per se, so I mean it wasn't a huge disappointment for me, but it's fun to play when you're not feeling like just doing the regular kart races. So I wish that they had included better stuff like that. That's really my only complaint about the game, to be honest. Alright, number 1. The big game of 2014. Number 1 on Chris McColl's list. Surreal Gaming here. I'll do a drum roll, even though I can't, so... Da-da-da-da-da. South Park, The Stick of Truth. What a fantastic game that I was not expecting, and no one was expecting to be fantastic. Everyone was expecting a funny game that didn't really have much going for it other than its comedy, and even at that we were kind of skeptical that they could keep it up for a whole video game. And it's great. It's another RPG, turn-based. I have a lot of RPGs on my list this year. It's so funny. The whole game, start to finish, is hilarious. I did the whole game and all the side quests in one swoop. And I think it took about, I want to say 13 hours, 14 hours. That sounds about right. I did it in like 3 days. I did all the side quests. I didn't get like all of the collectibles, but I got all the main quests done, all the side quests done. It's a great game. The battle system isn't incredible. It's good enough for what it wants to accomplish, but that's not... It's fun, though, and it's entertaining, and a lot of the moves are humorous, and you really can laugh at them throughout most of the game, and you get these cool summoning things where you can summon Jesus for a special move a day, and like Mr. Hanky, and 2 other ones, I forget. There's Slave, and the China Walk guy. Not China Walk, I don't know why I said China Walk. The Shitty Chicken. Shitty Walk. Yeah, that's it. I have a restaurant called China Walk kind of near me that I go to, so I guess I mix Shitty Walk with China Walk. So you can get them to do special things every day, so where it clears out all the enemies on screen. In the battle, not in the main hub where you walk around. One good thing is it's not random encounters like Pokemon. You can actually see the people, and you know what you're getting into, and you can attack before they do, or you can choose not to attack them. And in some circumstances, you can kill them without even having to go into a full battle. Which is really nice, because sometimes you don't want to. It's just a real funny game. It's from start to finish. I was laughing basically the whole time. It feels, I've heard this a million times, but it really feels like you're watching a season of South Park. I would put down the controller sometimes to do something else, like on my phone, and I'd look back up and I'd question why nothing was happening. I was like, why isn't South Park going? I was like, oh yeah, I'm playing a game. Like, that's not a TV show. It just looks so dead on like the TV show, and the humor's there, and everything in the world is there, and it finally puts it all together, and you get to go into Canada, and they really play around with so many game mechanics, and so many different things. It's fun, and it's hilarious, and it's my game of the year. I probably left out a bunch of stuff about it, but I don't want to spoil any of the jokes, or any of the story, even though the story isn't. I guess I'll say some stuff. It's like, the story is just hilarious because it's something you could see happening in a South Park episode, and I'm pretty sure they have done it. It's just, they're dressed up. Cartman and everyone is dressed up like people you'd find in Skyrim, and it's just a huge all-out war with the kids that they're taking way too seriously to the next level for a whole weekend. And then when they're done the game, they just that's it. It's just like any other South Park episode where they're doing something and then they're like, eh, on to the next thing. And it's funny because it's so all out and ridiculous, and that's partly what makes South Park funny when you watch the show, and it really carries over well to the game. But you also feel like what you're doing is important. Like, it makes you feel as if it's important, even though you know it's not. It's just a park game with all the kids. And it's funny how all the levels they take it to, and just the degree that everything gets out of control, like every South Park episode. Um, so yeah, it's a hilarious game, and it's my game of the year, and that was my whole top 10. To reiterate, because I hate when people just end this, even though you could rewind it and find it all for yourself, and I will put it in the description, because I also don't like when people don't put it in the description. Number 10, we had Destiny, the great shooter that has many great elements that they tried to do too much with, and it became disappointing. 9, Titanfall, a great multiplayer shooter, multiplayer only. They didn't try to do too much, unlike Destiny. They really stuck to what they wanted to do and executed extremely well. 8, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, great JRPG, amazing Pokemon game. It's on my list and not on others because this is my first Pokemon game, and I really liked it more than most people do, probably. They had new cool things like where it tells you what Pokemon you're about to see in the grass, and stuff like if you have all the Pokemon in the same area, which is really cool. 7, Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, an old game remade for the Xbox One and PS4. Great to play with friends, comes with DLC, tons of gameplay, lots of endgame content. It's completely about the gameplay in Diablo 3, and it doesn't disappoint. 6, Sunset Overdrive, the Xbox One exclusive game that's just awesome, fun, punk, breaks the fourth wall, hilarious, whatever. It's just, you're grinding on things and bouncing on things and killing zombie-infected things from energy drinks and doing these missions, and it's so crazy and awesome and funny. It's awesome. 5, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Although the 3DS version is awesome and definitely more, you can just use it whenever. It's more convenient. But Wii U version's awesome. Best fighter of the year. Awesome game. A huge, very dynamic game, although the learning cap is very low, and it seems very simplistic. It can get crazy. There's so much content in the game, so many different modes and things to unlock. It's crazy. 4. Child of Light, a very different kind of turn-based combat game in a beautiful watercolored storybook setting where you see a little girl turn into a hero in this coming-of-age story that's just beautifully done. Attention to detail is on point and just crazy good. 3. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, an excellent battle system taken from the Arkham series, basically copied and pasted, and it's done perfectly, and they really executed that well, along with the Nemesis system, which really is what identifies the whole game and makes it great. Really personalized the game for you and made you want to kill that next guy, made you want to come back for more. Set in a really great environment. Just wish the side quests were a bit better, the challenges were better, and wish I cared for my character a little bit more. But overall, amazing game, great combat. It's what they tried to do, they did amazing. And it's a great universe. 2. Mario Kart 8, amazing racing game. Well, it's a kart racer. Multiplayer is awesome. Great party game. Same with Super Smash Bros. Wii U. I didn't say that. Great party game. You can play with so many people. DLC is amazing. Maps, level design is crazy. The kart customizations, awesome. Characters, all there. There's not really any that I was missing that I can think of right now, at least. They made the racing and the drifting so easy to do. Compared to the other games like Wii U, it was harder to drift. I didn't even really know how to do it. This game is simple, easy, press the button, and the items are out of this world, crazy good. It's so much fun. I don't know why you haven't gotten it yet if you don't have it. And 1. South Park Stick of Truth, game that's not entirely focused on its RPG battle system. It's turn-based. It's more focused on the comedy, and it really delivers. Feels like you're watching South Park. There are Easter eggs galore. They're hidden all throughout the entire world. Every nook and cranny is worth looking at because there's something hidden in it because of how much detail and time they put into this game. That's why it was pushed back so long. It's hilarious from start to finish. And there's so much you can do, so many collectibles. And it's one of those great RPGs. This and Child of Light both do this. They're both somewhat short to medium length RPGs that you can have fun with and don't have to spend 1,000 hours in, like Dragon Age Origins. Not Origins, Dragon Age Inquisition. They're both nice games you can pick up and digest in a week or two and have a great time and never look back because they're great. I hope you enjoyed this top 10. I know a lot of you are probably saying, where is Dragon Age Inquisition now that you bring it up? And where is Far Cry 4? And I'd like to say that those would probably be on the list, but I didn't get a chance to play those, or The Evil Within, which I was very excited about. I didn't get a chance to play Dark Souls 2, which I believe came out last year. I didn't get a chance to play a lot of games. A lot that I'd love to play. Shovel Knight, which I'm planning on buying on my new 3DS in the coming weeks. Maybe I'll update this list eventually in the coming years. We'll see. But I hope you enjoyed this top 10. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What your guys' top 10 is. Sorry for the length, but getting through 10 games that are your favorite games of the year takes a while. I'm surprised I did it in an hour. 6 minutes per game. Pretty nuts. Obviously, you guys don't agree with me on all of these. Let me know in the comments what you think, what I could have changed, what games you recommend I play. That's one of my favorite that's probably one of like the things I'd like to look at the most. What games I missed that I didn't think to play from last year. Um, so let me know, and I'll get back to you guys since I have like no one watching. I will comment. I will reach out to you guys. Let me know what to fix and what to change in the coming videos. I'm trying to finish up my Luigi's Mansion Let's Play, so I see how that goes. And stay beautiful, people. Good night, America. And anyone else listening. I was just trying to make a reference, but I want to reach out to everyone out there. So, see ya.